evidence that Casey has ever done any harm to her child. She lived with me for 3 years. I've never seen anything. She is not dead.
Everything she says doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I'm not in Casey's head. I'm not a psychiatrist. I thought I was here today to discuss Caylee, not to defend what my daughter's doing.
Joining us right now is a very special guest, grandmother Cindy Anthony. Miss Anthony, thank you for being with us.
Hey, Nancy, how are you?
I'm good, and I want you to know that many of us are continuing to pray and think of you and your husband and Caylee. I understand you want to respond.
Well, yeah, I was listening to Tim Miller. I'd like to answer the question that he kind of didn't answer for you.
Okay.
I'm the one that called Tim Miller in. Actually, someone told me about him 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I thought all he did was body searches, after, people had been deceased or if you knew a specific area. And I waited till the urging last week, again, from several people to call him because they said, no, they can do, live searches too. So Tim came out here with the understanding that, we believe that Caylee is alive and that we wanted him to assist us in looking for her as a live person. So we have been fully cooperating with him. In fact, I've given him many locations, including today, locations in Dallas where we've gotten numerous tips, verified from FBI today, numerous tips that, have been reaching out since early, the first week after Caylee was found out she was missing. In fact, some of them found out on your own show that she was missing. And some of them haven't been followed up, and now they're being followed up. So I just wanted to, assure you that we have been cooperating with Tim. Casey was under full instruction not to speak to outside, people, even including the family, so that we weren't put in any jeopardy of, obstructing justice if she told us something. So she's not going to cooperate with anybody other than her attorneys and maybe anybody he appoints on his staff that has confidentiality. So that's going to kind of clear that up a little bit.
Miss Anthony, I know that you want more volunteers to show up to search. Is that correct?
No, actually, I don't. I think it's a waste of time searching in the woods behind, back by the airport and all that because, I know Caylee's alive. I've gotten many people calling in and saying that they've seen Caylee. What I would like people to do is continue to get the word out and continue to look for her. And I've gotten probably over 100 phone calls today from people that are supporting us and that are continuing in those efforts just today alone. So, I'm not surprised that a lot of people aren't showing up to search the woods because a lot of people don't believe that she's out in the woods, that she's buried. They believe that she's alive and breathing, and that's what we need to do is look for a little girl that's out there, maybe at a restaurant or a store or a park or whatever. And if we continue to, look at evidence that hasn't been verified, like your forensic specialist said, none of this has been verified. You guys are going to put Caylee in a coffin because eventually something's going to happen to her if we don't find her. So let's not look at speculation. Let's not convict someone before they've even been brought up on charges. Let's look for Caylee because that's what Tim's supposed to be here for, and that's what my goal is to get everybody out there looking for Caylee.
Well, Miss Anthony, I know that there are cases such as Elizabeth Smart, such as Shasta Groney, where they have been written off as most likely dead, and then a miracle occurs, and they are found alive. However, in those cases, there was no evidence of a decomposing body in the car
again, your forensic specialist said none of that has been verified. You know who's leaking that? People are leaking information. Orange County said last week they don't leak information. Well, they've been leaking information strategically. They leaked it last Wednesday because they thought Thursday was the deadline for her immunity, when in fact the immunity got pushed out till today. And then they pushed it again all this weekend because they thought that Casey would break. She's not going to break when she's telling them the truth that she does not know where Caylee's at.
I don't know if it's leaking, but Captain Angelo Nieves from Orange County Sheriff's Office gave an official public statement stating the FBI has provided scientific evidence of human decomposition in the trunk of Casey Anthony. Point blank, I just read it.
A hair follicle or whatever. None of that's been verified.
From the FBI lab?
Your forensic specialist himself said none of that's been verified. Even the hair samples.
I'm not. He did not say, he said some of the evidence he would want to verify before he gave his expert opinion. But the FBI crime lab states point blank that there is scientific evidence of human decomposition in Casey's car trunk.
I would love to know what it is. Are we talking about urine? I mean, I've myself put dirty diapers back there from Caylee until we gotten home and thrown them away. You know, when the dog hid on Caylee's playhouse, I asked them, is it because she peed in her playhouse? And they said possibly, because they didn't find anything buried under her playhouse.
To Lawrence Kobylensky, our forensic scientist joining us tonight, is there any way that a dirty diaper or a urine-soaked diaper could show up as human decomposition in a test? Could you please clarify what you said earlier? Maybe I misunderstood you.
No, Nancy, I think a diaper or urine would not be mistaken for decomposition. I believe that the kind of air sampling that was done...
I'm not talking about the air sampling.
The hair?
I'm talking about the hair, yes.
Yeah, well, you know, if in fact they found hair with a banding pattern, and if they can demonstrate that that comes from Caylee, then, you know, they've got some very strong physical, although circumstantial evidence.
Whoa, you're one step ahead of me, because this report regarding the FBI crime lab does not state that the decomposing body was Caylee. It simply says, point blank, there is scientific evidence of human decomposition in Casey Anthony's car trunk.
Yes, Nancy, if they did mitochondrial DNA analysis, that doesn't give you a unique profile.
Do you have a reason to doubt the FBI scientific lab?
Oh, I think they're a fine laboratory, but even they will admit that the mitochondrial profiles are not unique.
Nobody said mitochondrial. I'm just asking you if you have a reason to doubt their veracity.
I don't know. I have no reason to believe they would lie.
Let's go back to Miss Anthony. Joining us is Caylee's grandmother, Cindy Anthony. And I want to clarify, she believes the little girl is still alive, and she wants help finding her alive. Miss Anthony, now that I have gone back to Lawrence Kobylensky, what do you think?
Well, here's my deal. No one's 100% sure of anything, correct? Until they're 100% sure of anything, why the heck are we not looking for Caylee as a live person?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, and this is just my layperson's and trial lawyer's opinion, and that is, it's been very clear, and you're right, you stated a liar does not a murderer make. But when you are lying about the whereabouts of your little girl who is missing, that has made the public doubt anything your daughter has said.
People are speculating that she's lying about her whereabouts. Casey states, and she's maintained from day one without flinching, that she does not know where Caylee's at. In fact, one of our tips matches the descriptions of the people that took Caylee.
Didn't she tell people all along that Caylee was at the amusement park, that Caylee was with you, that Caylee was at these various places, and none of that was true?
The department all along was that she was kidnapped by Danita, and you know, and that's what she's maintained. She told me, you know, some things during the month of June, because she was trying to look for her and try to get her back herself. And when that didn't work, that's when, you know, she was, you know, came clean with the other. But again, the description of the person that she described to the police on July the 16th is the same description of that Dallas tip. And they're just now following that up. And that tip came in
Zenaida Gonzalez. Every Zenaida Gonzalez police have searched into is not anywhere near what your daughter is saying.
That's not entirely true. There's a lot of them that's out there that we're still investigating.